Hello there and welcome to Trending News. I am Nancy Nalima. Do stay with me for the next few minutes as I bring you up to speed with stories that are making headlines. The hashtag is Trending News at Lookuptv on Facebook, Lookuptv on X, and Lookuptv on our YouTube channel. Let's begin. The Prime Cabinet Secretary and Cabinet Secretary for Foreign and Diaspora Affairs, Mudavadi, held constructive bilateral discussions with Wang Yi, a distinguished member of the 19th Central Committee of the Communist Party of China, State Councillor and Minister of Foreign Affairs of the People's Republic of China. Both leaders affirmed their joint commitment to expediting collaboration on crucial fronts, including infrastructure projects, addressing challenges posed by climate change, and boosting the trade partnership. The talks further highlighted the mutual dedication of both nations to nurturing a robust and multifaceted relationship, emphasizing cooperation in key areas of shared interest.
You are one of the first countries to recognize independence for us and for the position those issues.
And back here in the country, President William Ruto now says the government has already disbursed 63 billion shillings for school capitation this month. Speaking after commissioning road projects in Timau, Meru County, Ruto cautioned school heads against extorting money from parents on claims of late disbursement from the government.
Tumeongeza pesa ya kusomesha watoto wetu kwa shilingi bilioni 127 mpya because education of our children is important and we don't want any child to be left behind. Mimi nataka nirudie nikiwa hapa Timau, kwa sababu kuna wasimamizi wengine wa shule wanauliza wazazi ati pesa ya serikali ya JSS imechelewa, wewe lipa fees. Mimi nataka niwatangazie kama serikali ya Kenya tumetoa pesa kwa mwezi huu peke yake, mwezi wa Januari tumetoa bilioni 62 ya kusomesha watoto wetu. Pesa ya primary, pesa ya secondary, pesa ya JSS, pesa ya TVET. Sisi kama serikali ya Kenya tumetoa hiyo pesa. Hakuna mzazi ataulizwa pesa shuleni, atatoa pesa fulani ati kwa sababu serikali imechelewa. Serikali imechelewa wapi? Ninyi mnanielewa? Kwa sababu unajua kuna watu wajanja wako huko. They want to take advantage of innocent parents. I want to say, for the avoidance of doubt, money has been provided by the government of Kenya. This month alone, we have released 62 billion shillings for the education of our children in primary, in JSS, in secondary, in our TVETs, and in our universities. And therefore, no education official is allowed to demand any money that is not legitimate from parents. Kwa hivyo mimi nataka tuelewane hivyo. Nyinyi watu wa Timau tutasomesha watoto? Si tunataka kila mtoto asome? Ama mnasemaje? Na ndio tumeweka pesa nyingi kwa masomo ya watoto wetu. In our plan on digital jobs, we already have 120,000 young people in Kenya today who are monetizing their talent. They are working remotely on digital jobs, 130,000 of them. We have already negotiated another 500,000 jobs on export of labor. That is our clear plan.
Now 7 people are fighting for their lives at Kisii Teaching and Referral Hospital after a crane plowed into a PSV and pedestrians at Sameta along Kisii-Ogembo Road. The crane, whose driver was headed to a towing mission in Transmara, Narok County, allegedly experienced brake failure and rammed into other vehicles. The crane also rammed into several shops by the roadside.
Nimetoka Eldoret. Tulikuwa tukaenda kazi nyingine hapa chini. Kufika hapa gari yenye Zoomland crane haina brakes. Ujaribu kushika brakes, haina brakes. Mwenzangu akaniambia niweke low gear, ilikuwa kwa gear 5 gear 6. Nikaweka low, haingii. Kustuka mwenye mbele yangu pandeni bodaboda, pandeni matatu imesimama. So mimi kuhepa nikapatana na bumps. Bumps ikanirusha na ikanipeleka pale.
Ilikuwa masaa ya asubuhi, tukastukia gari ikipita, tukadani ni pambu simjuu, tumesaya sikiluka kwa pambu. Kidogo tukaona chopa imesonga kutoka kwa barabara kidogo, ndio hiyo gari ikapita, hiyo gari kubwa ndio ikaribu hizi vipanda. Na walisema ni breki ilikatika. Watu wameumia. Nashukuru madaktari wetu wa Landmark walikimbia wakatusaidia kutibu wagonjwa. Wengine wamepelekwa hospitali huko Town Channel. Kwa sasa hatujui venye wanaendelea, lakini tunaomba tu Mungu ya kwa watakuwa salama, hakuna mtu atakufa.
Nilikuwa nasimama kwa hoteli yangu, nilikuwa natengeneza vitu. Sasa nikasikia kitu kinaguruma kutoka juu. Nasikia sauti ya juu. Sasa nikafikiri wacha nitoke nje nione. Na roho nyingine ikanikatasha. Nikasimama. Nikasubiri tu, nimeshindwa hata kuinua mguu. Sasa kusubiri nifikirie ni nini, nikaona hii kali. Nikaanguka nikasirai. Sasa vile nilisirai kuamuka, ndio kuangalia nikaona hii vitu kwa hoteli yangu hakuna kitu, imefuagia. Drugs ndio nikuangalia, nikaona hii kali nasimama hapa. Kusimama kuangalia wenzangu tunafanya naye biashara. Sasa nikaona wanabeba kwenda hospitali. Sasa niliona wawili wanabeba na kuna mzee hapa wa kijiji anasukumamia hapa na yeye ndiye anaumia sana, anapelekwa mbio ya ikakuja kumpeleka. Sasa wanapelekwa Kisii.
Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua has slammed opposition over what he terms as engaging in Mount Kenya succession politics. This follows a series of attacks on the second-in-command by azimio leaders in Kilifi yesterday, led by Nairobi Senator Edwin Sifuna. Gachagua noted that the Mount Kenya region is fully behind President William RUTO, while rubbishing any succession politics.
Nimeona jana hii watu ya ODM, hii watu ya azimio, wakijaribu kuongea mambo ya siasa ya Mlima Kenya. Mimi nataka niambie nyinyi watu ya azimio, hii maneno ya mlima is too complicated for you to understand. Hata siku mlijaribu kupanda mlima mliteleza. Wanaweza leo mambo ya mlima? Sasa walikuwa na Uhuru Kenyatta, walikuwa na system, walikuwa na nini, wakaporomoka kwa mlima hii Kenya. Hii mlima iko na wenyewe. Na saa hii mlima, we are united behind President William RUTO. Si iko namna hiyo? Nyinyi watu ya ODM muende mkatafute kura pahali mnaweza sikizwa. Hapa mlima sisi tunamjua. Nyinyi ni watu ya maandamano, nyinyi ni watu ya fujo. Hiyo ni mambo ambayo haitakikani katika eneo hii ya Mlima Kenya. Kwa hivyo mkome kuongea mambo ya siasa ya mlima. Mlima iko mambo yao na sisi tunapanga maneno yetu, na kiongozi wetu kwa wakati huu ni huyu Rais William RUTO. Tumekubaliana? Ile ilikuweko tu ni watu wachache walikuwa wanajaribu kugawanya hii mlima na wananchi wamekataa. Na mwetekere kwa gani inywe? Na mwetekere. Sisi tunakuwa united as a region behind our president na kazi yake, na kazi yetu ni kumuunga mkono. Na kwa hivyo tunataka kuambia watu wa mlima, wacha tumuombe rais, tuunge mkono.
Now, the spouse of the Deputy President, Pastor Dorcas Rigathi, has expressed concerns of increased cases of repression and frustrations among students in schools. Speaking in Kisii, she noted that cases are more prevalent among those who have already indulged in drugs and substance abuse in schools. She further emphasized on the need to visit and inspire students across the country.
It is very sad to see that in our schools and our universities, even primary schools, we are witnessing cases of depression, frustration, and it is more prevalence with the people who are taking drugs. They get into the place of suicide, and as you heard the other time, we were in a university where we were told that 55 had committed suicide. And it is very sad if, as a mother or a parent, you take your child to school or to the university and they come in a casket. And that is why we want to speak to them, to be able to inspire them and to encourage them and to give them hope and tell them there is a great future. Many of the times when we talk about gender-based violence, it cannot be by one person. You fight that my boy children will be there. When we talk about teenage pregnancies, you find my boy children are there. And so if they were to go to school and they had to get into character, I am very sure my women and girl children will be okay. That's why I cannot relent. I will continue and try to talk to our boys, and especially the boys, because even in the suicide cases, we find most of them, about 80%, is still boys.
Moving on, the Supreme Council of Kenya Muslims, SUPKEM, has advised the opposition not to contemplate going back to the streets as a way of amplifying their dissatisfaction with the Kenya Kwanza administration. According to the council, even though there are matters that the Kenya Kwanza administration has failed to address, azimio should instead use alternative means in expressing their displeasure with the government. The council further noted with displeasure some of the recommendations in the NADCO report as the high cost of living was not fully addressed.
SUPKEM, our stance on the National Dialogue Committee recommendation is as follows. Addressing the cost of living should be a top priority, primarily by reducing further the cost of fuel. We urge the opposition not to take the refrain from taking the street maandamano, but continue further dialogue to enhance peace in the country. The NADCO recommendations on the transfer of devolved functions and accompanied budgets should be implemented. We urge the Parliament to adopt the NADCO report and address the cost of living as urgent. Tuko tayari kuingia katikati yao, tuko tayari kuwalete wote pamoja, na pia tunaambia Kenya Kwanza, hii misimamo migumu ambao wanachukua ni kama wanataka kufunga macho ya kwamba matatizo yako. Kwa hivyo pande zote mbili zinapaswa kuja kuchangia, manake watu wote wanahudumia wananchi. When you devolve even the funds fully. Wakati tunazungumzia mambo ya ECD, ni kwamba pia serikali iteremshe pesa yote ile inahusika na mambo ya ECD. Na naamini ya kwamba njia kama hiyo itasaidia implementation policies, itakuwa ni rahisi. Swala la maandamano liwe mwisho kabisa, kwa sababu wakati ulipita tuliona waziwazi ya kwamba watu walipoteza maisha, watu walipoteza kazi ziliathirika, kwa hivyo uchumi pia uliathirika. Kwa hivyo tunaamini ya kwamba sisi kama watu wa dini, mazungumzo ni muhimu sana, na tunaamini ya kwamba lazima tu exhaust avenue zote za mazungumzo.
Quality education in Kenya still remains a challenge, with a lasting solution yet to be found in a bid to identify innovative solutions to improve learning. The Center for Education held a in-person meeting, that brought together various stakeholders in a bid to find solutions that will help in addressing the deficits in the education sector.
I think for parental engagement, and one of the things that this particular initiative that is bringing networks together is how do we strengthen information sharing. I think one of the challenges we face with parents over time is that the limitation in the amount of information they have, and I think this has been voiced in different forums. So I think one of the things we could strengthen is how information trickles down, and the interpretation of policy. How do we simplify that in such a way that any parent can understand what the objectives we are working towards and what their role is towards achieving that. So this particular study will be digging into identifying those gaps. So we don't want to move forward with the assumption that there are gaps because we have laments that come out, but also what is the research, what's the evidence saying about the gaps that exist. And I think there are a lot of conversations around that, and many of us see what is covered in the media, especially with the rollout of CBC. So we want to dig into the science behind that and also provide a solution. So not just look into the problem, but also what's a possible solution, giving agency to those that are consumers of it.
I think parents need to be brought along on the journey that is education reform. Parents are very used to being told your child is number 1, your child is number 5, your child is number 10. They're not quite yet adjusted to the assessment system that goes with the reforms. So how do we help parents understand the new system of assessment? How do we help parents understand what that means for their child and the support that their child needs? And then how do teachers and parents work together to ensure each child thrives?
All of these issues are exacerbated for children who are marginalized, for the poorer children, and for the children who suffer deprivation. These are the children who, by no fault of theirs, simply because they were on the wrong side of a birth lottery, are facing exacerbation in terms of the effect. Now, children need education that fosters their re-engagement with society and education. They also need education that fosters socio-emotional skills, their well-being.
And now you're on the know over what's trending at this hour. Let me quickly bring you up to speed with what you can expect at 7 p.m. and at 9 p.m. We'll be looking at the president who has made his way to Meru. He'll be there for the next 3 days on a development tour. We'll be giving you details of that story and more, as well as azimio leader Raila Odinga, who is in the coast region. He's been there the whole week for the ODM registration drive across the coast region. And as well, we'll be keeping tabs with a lot that is happening, a lot of politics from these tours in the different regions in the country, the coast region and the Mount Kenya region as well. And tonight on Legally Speaking at 9 p.m., we'll be handling femicide. And what are the legal provisions? Does the Constitution protect women? And how can we use law to fight femicide? I will be speaking to Senator Gloria Orwoba and former Nairobi MCA Mary Ariviza. You don't want to miss that conversation, and feel free to engage us, and let's keep that conversation going across our socials at Lookuptv on Facebook, Lookuptv on X, and Lookuptv on our YouTube channel. It's goodbye for now though, but keep it right here. I am Nancy Nalima. Goodbye.